Love 101. It's time for the Morning Watch with host Stokely Marshall.
Listeners to Love 101 FM are advised that the views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily those of Love 101 FM.
Hello and welcome to the Morning Watch on Love 101 FM. I am your host, Stokely Marshall, and a special welcome to our listeners on love101.org. And if you are overseas and on the move, US listeners can access us at 712-832-8001. And if you are in the UK, 0330-332-6541, or join us via the Love 101 FM app that can be downloaded from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can also check us out on Love 101 FM Facebook Live and YouTube Live. In the main watch today, we have what new jobs and business opportunities may arise with a further growth in artificial intelligence. And in the second watch, the call for another all-boys school in Montego Bay. In our social media question, we ask, is there a need for another all-boys school in St. James? Why or why not? Share your responses in our Facebook or YouTube, Love 101 FM Jamaica Live, and also WhatsApp your comments and voice notes to 876-997-3125 using the hashtag The Morning Watch. We'll share your comments later on in the program. But first, here's our quote.
Why don't we do something about natural stupidity? Steve Polyak.
You know, Siobhan, I'm going to leave this one alone today. I think I'll leave this one alone today. The main watch will be back after this break.
Let's build strong bonds. Take advantage of the NCB Financial Group Limited bond offer with a minimum investment of 100,000 Jamaican dollars attracting 6% interest per annum paid semi-annually. Don't let this wealth opportunity pass you by. Offer opens August 13 and closes September 2. Text the bond to 876-383-2076 or email multi-channel NCB Capital Markets at jncb.com to get started. Start building generational wealth today. Conditions apply.
You are fresh, we say. Fresh move, fresh style, fresh juice drink, fresh flavor. We drink fresh. Orange, cranberry, lychee, Sarilla grape. Fresh taste grape.
Stay refreshed all summer long with our flavorful fresh juices and beat the summer heat with our super cool fresh caps. When you purchase 3 fresh 500 ml, you will receive a branded cap offer valid at participating outlets all in wine while stocks last. Check out our social media pages at FreshJA to find an outlet near you.
Get fresh, get fresh.
Drink fresh, look fresh for the summer.
The first sound they make is to simply let the world know they're here. And then it's our duty to help them show the world why they're here in the first place.
Give them every advantage with the Guardian Achiever, a plan that provides for their educational dreams and protects their health and life in the process. For more information, call 888-4LIFE to speak to an advisor or visit myguardiangroup.com.
Become the hero on the scene by taking the COVID vaccine. Get vaccinated as soon as you get all the facts. Don't listen to the rumors. This vaccine might just make it possible for teachers to sit face to face with schoolers. This vaccine make it safer for everybody, from the young to the elderly. Don't you want to go back to living normally when things were more orderly? And if you want to live a long good life, then we all have to do what's right. So let's get vaccinated along with the heroes on the front line.
A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I am Stokely Marshall, and we are in the first watch where we're asking the basic question: what new job opportunities and business opportunities may arise with the further growth in artificial intelligence? It's probably not so obvious for many of us to envision, but artificial intelligence, otherwise known as AI technology, is closing in on us quicker and faster than we think. And we may all need to adapt in some way, shape, or form. We have online this morning to have a discussion around this Tyrone Edwards, who is a lecturer at the School of Computing and Information Technology at the University of Technology, Jamaica, and he's also an information technology specialist. We also have online today Rudy Robinson, industrial engineer and a lecturer at the Montego Bay Community College. Good morning, both of you gentlemen. How are you doing today, sirs?
Good morning.
Great having you both. Now, I want to start with
Good
you.
morning, Mr. Marshall.
Indeed. Morning. I'm going to start with you, Mr. Edwards. I want you to remind listeners what we mean by artificial intelligence as a start. Mr. Edwards, I hope you are not having a challenge hearing us, sir.
Artificial intelligence.
Yes, sir.
Basically, hello, are you hearing me?
Yes, we are hearing you, definitely. Go ahead.
I am hearing you loud and clear. I do hope you're also hearing me.
We are. I am hearing you.
Artificial intelligence speaks about working alongside the computer-aided application. Okay. All right. So artificial intelligence speaks about giving computer applications the ability to behave in the way that humans would behave in order to solve particular problems. So artificial intelligence is looking at us interacting with either software that has been programmed to have human-like decision-making capabilities.
Okay, so human-like decision-making capabilities. Can you break that down so listeners can understand exactly what you mean? Decision-making capabilities such as, for example, if you can tell us. We seem to be having a little bit of a challenge with the line in relation to Mr. Edwards. But while we seek to rectify that, Rudy Robinson, sir, good morning again.
Yes, good morning. Can you hear me clearly?
Loud and clear, sir. I don't know if you want to come in here. Mr. Edwards was about to try to tell us, you know, if you could give us an example in practical terms, that is what I mean, in terms of how artificial intelligence can actually do things just like a human would. Would you like to, for example, seek to give us an example of that, sir?
I can give you some examples. I'm actually one of the earlier persons involved with artificial intelligence. But when I was involved, it wasn't known as artificial intelligence. It was known as expert systems. I'm a programmer, even though I'm an engineer by profession. One of the things that was part of engineering and is still part of engineering is that we have to write programs.
I see.
So I've written programs in a variety of industries. And for each time, every time we wrote a program, it had to be smarter than the program it was replacing. It had to do things that the old program couldn't do. And with the advent of the internet, we had programs now which could use the internet as a resource and find information. they deliver results which were way above the expectations of the user in most cases. So artificial intelligence now evolved from what was called expert systems. An expert system would be a program, for example, which specialized in, say, medicine. So if you fed it diagnostic information, it would tell you what you are most likely ailing from. Or it could be, let me give you a simpler example. Say you go to a hotel. In the old days when you go to a hotel and you give them your name, especially if it's a hotel you've been to before, it would say, oh, you've been here before, and it'll bring up your address and stuff like that. All right. Now, an artificially intelligent program, when you give the hotel your name, it's going to say, do you still want a room with a view of the beach? And do you want your early morning coffee delivered to you like you normally have? And so it's a lot more engaging. It knows a lot more about you. And you feel better as the client, because you feel like, oh, they remember me, you know? And it's just more personal. You know?
I see. I see. Now, in terms of the topic at hand today, we still seem to not, well, I don't think we have back Mr. Edwards as yet. But in terms of the topic at hand today, in terms of the new jobs and business opportunities that may arise with the further growth in artificial intelligence, what do you see coming up on the horizon, Mr. Robinson?
Okay, there are several areas. If you look at your phone right now, your phone is...
Good morning, Mr. Marshall. I am on.
Oh,
you're back. Great, wonderful. Mr. Robinson is going to try to take us through some of the new jobs and business opportunities that may arise, and we'll come back to you after that, Mr. Edwards. Thanks for being back. Great having you back. Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Robinson.
Okay, I was saying artificial intelligence is already impacting the way we do things. When you use your phone and you're browsing for information, for example, you use tools like these talking tools like Siri and those kinds of things, which know all of your preferences. So they're going to say, good morning. Do you want to tune into Love FM this morning as you normally do? And it'll turn it on for you, right? And so it will say, would you like to transfer the video broadcast to your television? If you have a smart TV, your phone can now take over the smart TV. It knows you have a smart TV, you know? And so we see all of these things impacting on our life, and sometimes we don't even realize it's artificial intelligence. It knows your preferences. It knows your likes and your dislikes, and it provides you with services based on those kinds of things. Right?
Interesting. Mr. Edwards, any thoughts before we head to the break?
As Rudy has been explaining, our expert system is just one of the branches out of from which that is coming out of artificial intelligence. And we are already interacting with it through the various tools that we use. And even when we're interacting with companies now through their online portals, and even like calling into an operation like Flow, and it says it recognizes the number that you're calling from, and are you speaking at calling to get details about the particular services connected to that number. So
okay, so when you call some of these
intelligence for years, decades, but it is becoming more pervasive now.
I see. Why is that so, Mr. Edwards, in your view?
Well, with the advent of the new industries, we are just moving out of Industry 4.0, which has seen the rise of humans and computer aided applications and robots working with each other, moving into Industry 5.0 now, where we're going to see a lot more of the robots being controlled autonomously by the applications that are designed for specialized areas. And so
hold that thought, Mr. Edwards. Mr. Edwards, hold some of those thoughts because we're going to head to a break.
The need is going to be rising for the persons with the skill set that will be able to build out these types of industries and the tools that allow us to utilize artificial intelligence more seamlessly in our day-to-day activities.
Hold that thought, Mr. Edwards, because we have to head to a break. We'll be right back on the Morning Watch.
This is Love 101. The family station is now 7:16.
Bashko time! It's the summertime! Bashko! Kids are off from school and getting some well-earned time off. No, blame it! But there's no time to relax. Before you know it, school reopens. I can't wait. But don't worry, Bashko has your back for back to school with school bags, lunch boxes, pencils, pens, erasers, books, rulers, khaki, and more. So beat the rush and get ready for back to school. And Bashko. The store that gives you more.
It's our Independence, Jamaica, and Berger wants you to celebrate with our Step Up to Savings promotion. That's right, get 10% off selected paints and get a free gift with your purchase. So whether you want to show off your national pride with colors like black, green, and gold, or you're interested in any of our thousands of colors, you'll still get 10% off and save big. Promotion ends August 31st, and remember, get a free gift with your purchase. Berger, for lasting beauty and protection.
Chris Charles has something special for you this and every Friday at 11:45 a.m. Listen to the information carefully, then answer the questions in the Chris and Charles Financial Quiz Corner. There is so much to learn and you can win something fabulous from Chris and Charles. That's the Chris and Charles Financial Quiz Corner, Fridays at 11:45 a.m. Chris and Charles, when you think loans, think Chris and Charles. And it's on the family station Love 101.
You know how Jamaican people do everything extra, right? So why should planning your retirement be any different? Introducing JNGI Silver Shield, 2-in-1 coverage for motor vehicle and home including contents. See? Extra! Imagine 25% JN member discount, emergency roadside assistance, accident forgiveness up to $1 million and more. JNGI Silver Shield, exclusively for members of the Caribbean community of retired persons. Visit jngi.com. JNGI, we'll help you find a way. A member of the JN Group.
Me a forward is where you going. What you mean? Me get my vaccine so me can touch the road now.
Touch road? You know your ears are. The health people said this is only the first dose and we need 2 doses to be fully protected.
Eh? What you mean?
What me mean? We're waiting for the second dose, Mr. Sir. So you try turn your yard and go and follow the protocols. Wear your mask, wash your hand, and keep your distance from other people.
Get vaccinated, get back to life. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. We are in the main watch, and the topic in this main watch is what new jobs and business opportunities may arise to further growth in artificial intelligence. Our guests for this segment, Tyrone Edwards and Rudy Robinson. Tyrone Edwards is an information technology specialist and he is a lecturer at the School of Computing and Information Technology at the University of Technology, Jamaica. And Mr. Robinson is an industrial engineer. He's also a computer programmer and he's a lecturer at the Montego Bay Community College. Now, just before the break, Mr. Edwards, you're making a point. Please continue, sir.
Yes, based on the steady growth of the artificial intelligence in all of the areas that are supported by ICT, by information technology, where there is data, there is a need to create services surrounding the data that is available.
Okay.
And artificial intelligence is one of these areas that is able to create these new services by extrapolating detailed information from the data that exists. When we interact in social networks, when we post information about the things that we like to do, this data is being collected, and this offers companies who have access to the data the ability to use that data to now provide us with additional services. Now, as Rudy said, you may have a pattern where you normally go on a vacation in October around the time of Heroes Day or Heroes Weekend. So, using this information, companies may provide the tourism industry with tools that allow them to target you with advertisement when it comes to the point where you are looking for booking a particular service. And so you will start getting increased advertisement about special packages that are being offered by hotels. You may be a student, and based on your searches that you're carrying out, Google now uses the data and it is able to suggest what are the particular links that you may be interested in. Knowing that you're a student and seeing that you are doing research on a particular topic, the search results may now come up highlighting links to the segment of the Google toolset called the Google Scholar, so that you are accessing scholarly peer-reviewed work, so that you may have a richer data set to carry out the search, the research that you're currently doing the search for. And
can you hold that 1 second, Mr. Edwards? Only because of time, not because we're really cutting you, but I want to bring in Mr. Robinson here. You are at University of Technology of Jamaica, Mr. Edwards, and Mr. Robinson, you are at the Montego Bay Community College. Mr. Robinson, if you were to advise a student now who is in a course of study at your relevant college, what are some of the things you would want to say to them in terms of what they should be studying, because you're trying to guide them into a job of the future? What kinds of jobs would you be telling them that they're out there to get? Or what types of entrepreneurship would you be telling them that they're out there that they can seek to venture into? And therefore, you would be steering them into a particular course of study right now. What are some of those things, sir?
Okay, well, the study of information technology, computer science is an obvious direction for those who are that way inclined, right?
Okay.
And this is where Tyrone would be the expert, because he deals directly with persons who are driven towards using the computers.
Yes.
I'm an engineer, and I have a pet lean towards robotics and automation. And I see where, for example, if you take electric vehicles are coming. People are not aware of it, they're coming. And these electric vehicles are going to replace the good old gas engine, internal combustion engine, the car that we are all familiar with. All of that's going to go away. But the electric vehicle, even though it's similar to the fan in your bedroom, it's just a motor and batteries, right? Requires technology that we don't have right now, that we don't use. So even students who are technically inclined in the mechanical way need to develop their IT skills, their information technology skills. The direction for most electric vehicles, if you look at some of the bigger manufacturers like Tesla is the leader in the world right now. It's towards autonomous vehicles. That means vehicles that drive themselves. For this to work, it needs massive amounts of data, right? For your car, as simple as it may seem, for you to drive from your house to your workplace takes a whole heap of data and a whole heap of brain power. If you want a vehicle to do that, the vehicle has to learn more than just the route and which road to drive on. It has to observe and respond and react to the other vehicles on the road, and we've seen how some other people drive, right? And it has to do this in real time, like your brain does it in a real time, right? It has to make thousands of decisions per second, right? And this is going to all be artificially intelligently driven, right? So your vehicle will be connected basically to the internet at all times. It'll tell you, oh, there's an accident up ahead, so we're going to turn off and we're going to take this other route. It'll tell you, remember that pothole. It'll remember the potholes and either slow down or use another lane if possible to avoid them, right? All of that is intelligence. And as an engineer by nature, I teach robotics. I teach automation, automated manufacturing equipment, because that's my background in those areas. So it's one side of AI that I lean to. Tyrone is more a bigger expert in the different areas, as he was saying. He knows the different areas. I'm biased. I'm biased toward the robotics, the interface of computers with machines. That's me. You know.
Yeah. So I want to quickly go back to Tyrone here, Mr. Edwards. We just heard what Mr. Robinson said, Mr. Edwards. In terms of some of the other day-to-day activities that human beings have to attend to, such as visits to the supermarket, visits to the doctor, things like that, how do you see the types of jobs changing, or what new jobs might arise, or business opportunities in those ordinary things that people have to deal with every day, taking the bus, things like that, sir?
Okay. Thanks for the opportunity. So, at the School of Computing, we are preparing to roll out a degree program in applied artificial intelligence based on what we have been reading the market and recognizing the strong growth in artificial intelligence and all of the areas that it supports. Now, in terms of how it is impacting your day-to-day activities, it has the potential of planning your entire day. If you are a person who uses a lot of the smart devices, your entire day is actually being mapped. When you move from point A to point B, the device is capturing this data. And so it can be used to assist you in the morning when you get up. It will be possible for it to set an alarm for you automatically, because it knows that you need to get to your workplace, that is in New Kingston, and you live in Old Harbour. And it knows that you can either take the highway or you take Old Harbour Road. And it will plan the trip that you may have to take. When you are a person with a particular health concern, it will be able to tell you what are the types of foods that you should be having in your diet because of your particular health condition. If you have goals or probably weight loss or some other personal goals, then the artificial intelligence programs that will be available or tools can help you to achieve those goals. But it takes a cadre of persons who are trained in the area to provide these services that we are going to be requiring. So we have a need for artificial intelligence specialists. That is one of the #1 jobs that was searched for and advertised on LinkedIn in 2020. And based on the projection, it is going to continue to grow. So from artificial intelligence specialists to AI developers and engineers, researchers, data scientists, business analysts, big data engineers, machine learning engineers, which is the area that Rudy is interested in, because he spoke about his background in engineering and robotics. So we know artificial intelligence will be a driving force there in getting us into Industry 5.0.
I do think we need to return to this subject shortly from now, well, in a short while from now, because it's very interesting, and maybe there's a lot more that clearly there's a lot more that we need to say, but I would like to thank you, Mr. Edwards, and you, Mr. Robinson, as well, for being with us today. That was Tyrone Edwards and Rudy Robinson. We are totally out of time for this segment, but we do wish to have them back at another time. We'll be right back on the Morning Watch. Please stay with us.
JN Auto Loan, helping you on your journey. Roll out and make a statement in your brand new vehicle.
The time by JN will help you find a way is
7:31.
This is current. This is news. This is what's happening in Jamaica and around the world. Current affairs, government activities, the latest news in education, health, the economy, and more. Stay up to date and stay current on Love 101, 6:30 a.m., our morning news. 10:30 a.m., our mid-morning updates. 1 p.m., highlights in the news inside the Alive Exchange. 5 p.m., Dateline News. 6:30 p.m., religious news highlights. And don't miss News Review with Clyde Edwards on Sundays at 7 p.m. This is current. This is news presented by Love 101 FM in partnership with My Jamaica Today. Only 3 clicks away. Stay in the know and in the now on Love 101, the family station.
Exporters, have you heard? Certificates of origin are now online. Starting August 23, 2021, all exporters requiring a certificate of origin from the Trade Board Limited must submit their application using the Jamaica Single Window for Trade, J-SWIFT. All locally manufactured goods and agricultural produce for export must have an authorized certificate of origin in order to access and obtain preferential treatment in other territories and markets. Traders, your benefits include greater convenience and faster processing time, online application, payment, and approval, online access to the approved certificate of origin, and a system-generated CARICOM invoice. For more details, contact J-SWIFT at info@jswift.gov.jm. Jamaica Single Window for Trade. J-SWIFT, your window to trade.
DJ Bounce. Make we rich together with Digicel. Just call 142 or dial *142 number sign from your prepaid phone for a chance to win your share of $42 million in cash and prizes. Enter to get $500 bonus credit. Smartphone users get 500 megabytes any use data and 1 gigabyte BIP data, while non-smartphone users get 10 minutes and 50 SMS free for Digicel to Digicel calls and texts. Each entry costs $100. From now until September 14th, make we rich together with Digicel. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming, and Lotteries Act.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokely Marshall. As we look at the newspapers today to see what is happening, well, we have on the front page of the Gleaner, indeed, very sad news. Attorney at law and former Member of Parliament, Ernest Smith, has died. Attorney at law and former St. Anne's Southwest Member of Parliament, Ernest Smith, has died. Smith, 70, passed away at the University Hospital in St. Louis sometime after 9 p.m. on Wednesday. I would say that I am personally saddened because he was indeed a very good colleague of mine, and I did consider him to be in the category of a mentor in the profession and a friend. May his family be comforted at this time. We also have in our major daily newspapers, in terms of the Jamaica Observer, we turn to it here. We have a story, well, we have a number of stories in the Observer, and we are in the online version, so the captions keep changing. But there is one here that I would like to draw your attention to, if I can quickly toggle to it. Well, let's look at this one. Tina on course. We have here in Nairobi, Kenya, Jamaica failed to capitalize on a promising start to day one of the World Athletic Under 20 Championships in Nairobi, Kenya yesterday. And listeners can take a further look at that. Quite a bit of news in terms of sports in the Observer today. And another one of interest here, many listeners will realize, this is not necessarily from any of the relevant papers, but listeners may have realized that the Gordon Town Road, that main road leading to Gordon Town, was opened last night. And so listeners would be some listeners in particular in that area will be happy to have heard that. And hopefully that will end quite a bit of the challenges in terms of traveling to and fro that in terms of that location. Well, coming up next, we'll rephrase some of the feedback from our Facebook and WhatsApp question, which is there need for another all-boys school in St. James? Why not? If you haven't done so yet, leave a comment on our Facebook or YouTube, Love 101 FM Jamaica Live, and also WhatsApp comments and voice notes to 876-997-3125 using hashtag Morning Watch. We'll be right back.
You're invited to listen to Dollars and Cents every Thursday at 8:16 a.m. We'll give you tips on how to make your money count, how to save, and how to grow your worth. It's all inside Dollars and Cents, brought to you by BPM Financial Limited, taking you higher. That's Dollars and Cents every Thursday at 8:16 a.m. on the family station, Love 101.
We hit the road again this weekend for our Youth Fellowship Takeover. Hi, I'm Shivani Blair, your Youth Ambassador, and I'll be in St. Ann this Friday, August 20. Be a part of our audience at 4:30 p.m. for a live recording at the Ocherous Church of God of Prophecy. Then join us for the delayed broadcast at 7 p.m. You can also watch us online via our social media platforms. It's the Isle of Summer Youth Fellowship Takeover. I can't wait to see you on location. Come join me now, Ocherous Church of God of Prophecy, 4:30 p.m. Be a part of the audience.
The Isle of Summer Youth Fellowship Takeover is sponsored by University of the Commonwealth Caribbean, fostering leadership and innovation. Shade Purified Drinking Water. Drink up, stay cool. Distinction College, providing opportunities for you. Maranatha Health Food Store and Vegetarian Restaurant, preserving your health through nature's wealth. And Fellowship Tabernacle, building nation changers.
PSOJ's Crime Stop Jamaica unsolved. Help us to solve the gruesome murder of Miss Hazel Nemad, a retired returning resident. Her body was found lying in a pool of blood with her head bashed in at her home at 7 Corlets Road, Spanish Town, at 8 a.m. on Thursday, November 12, 2020. She was last seen at 7 p.m. the night before. Hazel Nemad's murderer had gained access through a grilled louver window. Crime Stop Jamaica and family members are offering a total reward of $500,000 for information leading to an arrest and charge. Call Crime Stop Jamaica 311. Solving crime pays.
Welcome back. You're tuned into the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokely Marshall. We go right into the second watch now. Between the parishes of St. James, Trelawney, Hanover, and Westmoreland, there is one all-boys secondary school, high school, that is Cornwall College. And while that establishment has a stellar history, there has been a suggestion, a craning, to have another all-boys institution erected or built to serve this area. We have online this morning to discuss this somewhat interesting topic. Not the type of topic we hear about every day, but we're addressing it today. Janet Silvera, president of the Montego Bay Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and Mr. Lindburn Wright, who is president of the Association of Principals and Vice Principals. Good morning, Ms. Silvera, and good day, Mr. Wright. How are you both? I think we are connecting. Oh, great. Having you both.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, first of all, we know that Cornwall College is a well-recognized, very established institution of great lineage in the island of Jamaica. Great history. Many stalwarts have graduated from that institution. It's being indicated it's the only all-boys institution in that side of Jamaica. Why is it that there is a call for another one? Don't you have a co-ed institution? Why specifically call for another all-boys institution? I'm going to start with you, Mr. Wright, and then move right to you, Ms. Silvera. Mr. Wright, what do you think has led to this call? Mr. Wright, I hope your screen isn't frozen. While we seek to rectify that, Ms. Silvera, please indicate to us, what do you think has led to this call?
Well, there is a need. There is an urgent need. We have had a deficit for the last 10 years. And so we believe that now is the right time to call for that type of institution. How much longer should we wait, though, to be honest with you? The Catholics are about to do something here in Montego Bay, which will accommodate only sixth form boys, and only about 60 of them will be able to be accommodated at this institution that they're starting. However, what happens to the youngsters who pass their PEP and would want to go into a traditional high school that is renowned, that has the kind of reputation? Mark you, none will come now with the type of reputation that Cornwall has. But if it's a traditional high school, it will have the offerings of a Cornwall College. It will be something that a school that students will gravitate towards. Currently, we are losing a lot of our students to the United States, those who can afford to send their children to the United States. Those who can afford to send their children to Kingston. So a lot of that is happening. And for me, not only is this a brain drain, but these students, they don't come back. So they don't give back to a city that has given them so much of their foundation. I believe that the time is right. It's time for us to build another boys' school. 125 years is enough time.
I see. Now, is it that one of the issues you're having on that side of the island, I guess because, well, I should say I have spent some time in Montego Bay, you know. However, most of my, days in terms of working, etc., have been in Kingston. Is it that in Montego Bay, more parents would like to see their children go to a school like Cornwall?
Yes, because of the standard.
Cornwall only has so much space. Is that the challenge?
That is the most obvious of all the reasons. Cornwall College can only accommodate maybe 250 students that they take from the Ministry of Education. Each year, they're able to take that amount. And they get another 250 applications from students who want to transfer from other schools that they have been placed.
I see. Hold that thought, Ms. Silver. Let's try to bring back in Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright? I hope your screen isn't frozen. Are you unmuted, sir?
I don't think this thing has any mute on it. Maybe he could leave the studio.
It appeared as if we were having him on, and then it seems like maybe his screen is frozen. Okay, we're almost upon a break, Ms. Silvera, but what you have outlined to me does explain why I met so many Montegonians, male Montegonians, boys who are Montegonians in Kingston when I was going to school, because clearly they may not have been able to get a place at a school such as Cornwall. But I want to bring up another issue which may not be as pleasant to discuss, but I'm going to raise it regardless. But we're upon a break. Stay with us, listeners. We'll be right back on the morning watch.
Okay.
NIS pensioners, avoid the wait. Get your NIS pension straight to your bank account. It's easy. Simply visit the Ministry of Labor and Social Security's website, mlss.gov.jm, or the nearest NIS office and collect the direct deposit application form. Then complete the form and submit it along with supporting documents to the NIS office nearest you. Avoid crowds and long lines. Get your money when you want it. The National Insurance Scheme, always working for you.
What does climate change mean to you? I get to understand is it caused the weather to switch up so?
Bad weather.
Storm them stronger than before and dry time longer now.
Bad weather.
Smart and steady, get climate ready.
Visit PPCRJA on Facebook for more on climate change.
Bills to pay and funds to transfer? No problem. I do it all on my time with JN Bank Live Online Banking. It's my simple and secure as that online banking.
Phone credit need a top up? No problem. I do it with JN Bank Live Online Banking.
It's quick and easy with just a few clicks. JN Bank Live, online banking that goes where you go. Sign up today. Visit jnbank.com. JN Bank, we'll help you find a way.
You're invited to listen to Dollars and Cents every Thursday at 8:16 a.m. We'll give you tips on how to make your money count, how to save, and how to grow your worth. It's all inside Dollars and Cents, brought to you by BPM Financial Limited, taking you higher. That's Dollars and Cents every Thursday at 8:16 a.m. on the family station, Love 101.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokely Marshall. We are in the second watch and we're having a discussion with Janet Silvera and Mr. Linvern Wright. Janet Silvera is the president of the Montego Bay Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and Mr. Wright, president of the Jamaica Association of Principals and Vice Principals. And our topic in this second watch is in relation to another boys' school, or the call for another all-boys school in Montego Bay, St. James. Now, Ms. Silvera, just before the break, made a number of very interesting points. In a nutshell, Cornwall College can't take all the boys that the relevant parents and children would like to see to have their children matriculate into, or that the boys would like to matriculate into. But some may argue, we know the prestige and the excellent track record of Cornwall College. Some might say, well, is it that you want to create another Cornwall College because of a tinge or a touch of elitism? You have parents who may not want their children to go to another school in the parish or an adjoining parish. You want them to go to a school of the reputation of Cornwall College, and therefore you're avoiding the other schools because you are not as desirous of your child going to that other school. Why not just upgrade all the schools? So there won't be this need or perception that there is a need to export your child from the parish or even overseas. Your comments on that, Mr. Vera?
Why not do what? Because I'm
some persons may have
not the greatest right now. Why not do what? First of all, I heard you say something. Yes.
Some persons may say, why is it you're exporting your children to the parish or overseas? Why not upgrade all the schools in and around the western side of Jamaica, including the boys.
But that too needs to
Is there a touch of elitism taking place here? Why it is that some people feel that their children should go to another parish if they can't get their children into Cornwall College?
All parents want the best for their children, and you can't blame them for that. If I know that there is a school that is going to lift my child to the standards that I expect, that is the school that I want my child to go. I don't want my child ending up in a school that is inferior, wherein at the end of the day, he can't make it into med school, or he can't make it into law school, or he can't make it to where he or she wants to get into. So I want the best of my child, and I believe that is what many parents are saying, that they want the best of their children. And that is why when they can't get their best options and they can afford to, they send their children elsewhere. What we should do is to cauterize that. Yes, improve the standards of the schools that we now have. But I'm talking about a boys' school. I'm saying that there are enough girls' schools, all girls' school here. There are enough co-eds, but there does not exist another all-boys school, which is what I am saying that we need for Western Jamaica at this time.
You use that term, you wouldn't want your child, well, I'm paraphrasing, but you indicate that you would want your child to, I'm not too sure why we're having that challenge.
I'm hardly hearing what you're saying, because there's a studio over there on you, and I think you're competing against each other. The sound is not so great.
Well, I think we have rectified that, right? I think we just rectified that. Yeah. So
Great.
You're hearing me better now, yes?
Much, much better.
Yes, we just corrected that. So you use a term in relation to, let me say, other schools. You use the term inferior. And I'm sure quite a number of our listeners in Western Jamaica must be now very upset.
Why should they be upset? If I'm speaking the truth, why would you be upset? There are certain standards. There are certain standards that you will not find at many schools. There are certain schools that have just not been able to get to where they need to get to in order to have those students matriculate to where they need to be. And it's not as if I'm going to name those schools, but we must be able to admit that there are certain schools that need to be upgraded in this country. And some of them are located right here in Western Jamaica. I went to one of the finest institutions, Mount Alvernia High School.
You are our most welcome guest, but I'm sure that some of our most welcome listeners might be a little bit unsettled at the choice of word. But I'm going to move on to Mr. Wright at this time. Mr. Wright, your comment, sir, in relation to why an all-boys school in particular?
For me, and you're hearing me well now? Hello?
We are hearing you, sir. We are hearing you.
Good morning to you both. For me, it's not just an all-boys school. If you check Western Jamaica, what we have had is a high number of housing developments in Western Jamaica without any kind of social infrastructure. So the hospitals, schools, road infrastructure, none of those things have come along with the kind of housing that we have put in. And I feel that the kind of broad-based perspectives that we need to have in terms of how we look at development is something that has not been done. The problem that I think Mr. Silver is alluding to, of wanting an elite high school is something that I personally don't subscribe to. I think what we need to do is look at education across the board and say, okay, how is it?
Can I say something here? I was the one who introduced the term elitism to the discussion because based on what you said before, I wanted to question her in relation to whether it was based on
inferior would imply that kind of
no, but I wasn't thinking elite when I said Cornwall. I'm talking about a traditional high school.
No, but you spoke
That's the word that I'm using, traditional. I see where they started a school in Westmoreland. I think it's something academy. Belmont Academy. And let me tell you something. When that school just started out, wonderful, fantastic. The kind of institution that is going to produce the creme de la creme in the country. Now, they have diverted their attention to something totally different from what they were intended for. And for me, they are not what they should be anymore. And you see that their grades have fallen, a lot of things have fallen. Now, I am saying that I would like another traditional boys' school in Western Jamaica. I am not speaking elite. Thank you.
Just one thing. But the word traditional suggests elite. But the other point that we have to make though is that I know that's not discussion you're having this moment. It's kind of going there. But as I'm saying, my big point is that we need educational institutions in Western Jamaica. They are short, and we have had a population increase, and we need to get to that. The big point, one of the points I think we need to make though, is that all of these institutions, right? Is that we are short of the quality students to enter our institutions because of what is happening at the primary school. So another thing that we really need to look at is the funding for primary schools. Primary schools get just $2,500 per student. Parents who can afford to send their kids to prep schools and that sort of thing will be able to do that. And we can talk about Cornwall and Mount Alverna. I represent principals. There is nothing inherently better about the management and the teaching in a Cornwall college over any other school, right? The big difference is the pass level that the kids go into these schools with. They're going with the 90s and they come out with 8 or so CXCs. And I think we just have to put that kind of thinking to rest. But I know it's kind of difficult because people have a notion of how schools ought to go. But within every single school, there are students who are getting the 8 subjects with their ones just the same. When I was at Rossi's, there was a student who came there from Merlin Otter with 8 ones. He's into medicine now, just like anybody. In fact, he did better than any other student in Western Jamaica. What had happened to him? He had passed one of these schools and he couldn't afford it, and he went to that school and he got through just the same. All our teachers went to the same colleges. Principals went to the same colleges. What we need to do is ensure that the primary schools are such that the quality students go to these teachers because it is there. But when they're going to these schools with low levels of literacy, you know, those are the kinds of things that will cause the students not to do as well as, you know, Mrs. Sylvia and others would like. But the truth is that what we need to do is to increase the number of schools generally that we have. You see, crime in Western Jamaica, every single thing, it has a lot to do with the fact that our schools are overcrowded in Western Jamaica and teachers really don't have the time to be dealing with that number. So the amount of spending on crime now, the amount of spending on many other social issues, we could reduce if it is that maybe increase schools maybe by the number of about 6 or 7 schools in Western Jamaica across the parishes.
Can you imagine if we were to get another boys' school where we could also mold those boys into better citizens and help to reduce crime? So those are some of the things that I'm thinking of. I'm not necessarily saying that, okay, this new institution is going to be a school that is going to be of the same standard as a Cornwall College. I am asking for a boys' school where we can mold those boys into men. I think that after 125 years, and the fact that there are many families who would want to see their children in an all-boys school as well, we can do that for Western Jamaica. And I'm in total agreement with you, Mr. Wright, that it needs the education or the focus, a lot of it needs to be placed on the early childhood education, which would be from infant schools to primary schools. And then we would get those students that we want in all these schools. But even when we get to that stage, I will still be calling for an all-boys, an additional all-boys.
Well, what I want to say to you, Janet, is that I'm at William Lib, I'm in Falmouth. And I like this call. About a month ago, I, along with the principals of schools in St. Ann, made the same kind of call for more schools. I am willing to have further discussions with you and partner with you because we meet with the Minister of Education. I think this kind of private sector call is something that actually complements what it is we want to do and what is it we are asking, because we're feeling it in the schools. And I think that voices like yours will help. So I think what is important is maybe that we try to contact each other as soon as possible and we join voices and sing the same song, and hopefully the harmony will reach the persons who like the music.
No problem. Trelawney is one of my favorite places.
Yes.
So I don't mind at all.
I reach out. I try to reach out and see how we get to each other. All right.
Yes, I like that. Thank you very much, Love 101 FM.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing.
You
Have a
see,
great
I've just linked two people from Western Jamaica together.
Yes.
All the best. Have a great day and keep safe.
Blessings. So Janet, we'll get in touch. All right.
Cool vibes.
All right.
All right. That's Janet Silvera, president of the Mobay Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and Linford Wright, president, Jamaica Association of Principals and Vice Principals. That's the program today. Catch you next Tuesday for another program. On behalf of Stokely and Kathy, have a great one. Keep it locked to Love. It is 8:01 and